Let's get to that money. 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 Mo don't want to do it. Let's get to that money. Let's get to that money. Let's get to that
Get
money.
into the money, Mo.
She don't want to get into that money. Get into that money. Get it. There we go. There we go. My nigga frozen.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we couldn't see you. You was stiff. You was stuffed.
What's good, everybody?
Oh,
We live.
what's good? What's good?
Is that blood of the moon?
It is. I got bladder whack in here.
Bladder whack. That sounds like a
burdock root. Look at Mo. Look at Mo. She's frozen as hell. Hey, bestie. Hey, bestie.
No, I'm switching something over. Is it still frozen?
No, you better now.
Yeah, so now you get started over or whatever. We just
whenever you're ready, you gonna click into it, girl. Let's get to that money. Let's get to that money.
Let's get to that money. Let's get to that money.
Hey. She still don't want to do it. She still don't want to do it. It's okay.
Let's get to that money. Let's get.
Hey, there we go. There we go. Hey. All right.
What's up?
We'll plug that in.
Live.
Hey guys.
What's good?
You know, this is a fresh phrase. You know, I woke up like this. I woke up like this. I woke up like this, you know.
Flawless. Hey, bestie.
Hey,
flawless.
Hey. You know, just a little lip gloss popping.
I got my red lips popping, okay? Because I'm about to go out after this Ratchet Robe review. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So,
Nash, what you doing? You smoking?
What
you...
Just waiting for one of y'all to start the episode.
We're going to get it started. What's good, SR Tribe? Welcome to the Ratchet Robe review. We review all things worthy of ratchetness, of course.
That's a fact.
This spinoff focuses on all things that's candid, our candid thoughts on the TV shows that you love to watch. We watch shows that you're watching and we just, you know, talk our shit about it. Basically, that's what we do. You know, we talk our shit about the shows that we all like to watch.
And our Versace robes because we fancy.
Yes. You know, you don't see the Versace.
Can I flex again?
Oh,
I like to
flex. Every episode. Go ahead, go for it.
I mean, I can flex too, you know.
Time to have
Hold on, let me flex. Let's see if y'all can see it.
Y'all remember that song?
I don't know if you can.
We see you, Mo. We see you, Mo.
I'm just doing a little.
Who blessed you? Who blessed you? Who blessed you?
So in this episode, we're gonna, you know,
go.
Dip and dabble into Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Ooh.
If you don't know, that comes on Saturdays on OWN at 8:00 p.m. We are currently in season 5, episode 4. So let's touch on that. Let's touch on that. If you're watching, I'm going to touch on last week's episode and then I'll jump into the the current episode that's out now. But there is a counselor by the name of Dr. Kit, and he's like a marriage counselor, couples counselor, and they actually went on a retreat where all the couples came together. The couples were Letitia and Marceau, Maurice and Kimmy, and Tiffany and Louis Whitlow. As we know, Tiffany and Louis were both once divorced, and now they're married to each other. And in last season reunion, they kind of had a couple of things to say about Marceau and Letitia's marriage, in a sense, you know. So now they're all at this couples counseling retreat, and Dr. Kit kind of brought out some stuff in regards to their marriages, which in the prior season recap, Kimmy also always said that she felt like they were kind of not being their transparent self
on the show,
right? On the show that came out in the
tell-all,
right? Kind of in
reunion,
the reunion. Yep. So they went to their couples counseling, and the counselor kind of delved deep into some of the things in regards to, like, at one point while everybody was present, like Tiffany was on a call with her job, so he was basically like, she's here taking phone calls and y'all here to discuss your marriage. Like, hello,
where's her priorities?
Yeah, where's her priority in regards to that? Right. So that was very interesting. He talked about, if you don't know, like, Tiffany was like adopted at one point. Go ahead, TJ.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They were waiting. They hadn't really started the session yet when she took that call. So I just feel like this therapist was going in on them a little too hard. And I don't really feel like a lot of his stuff was accurate. And so, of course, they didn't really agree with some of the things that he was saying. So, but for the call specifically, that scene, she was like, when she came back, she was like, I didn't know we started yet. So like y'all crucifying me, and we still waiting for people to come. Like people were still late.
She also did say it was a call that she had previously had, and it was going to be over by the time that they were supposed to start. I think she was saying something like that. Yeah, so she did say that.
Just FYI, I'm on Team Tiffany right now. Just because
so she did say that. But
not because her name is Tiffany, but
we can tell.
So Dr. Kid kind of brought out stuff in regards to Tiffany and Lewis, the other couples, kind of that was like their moment to be like, like you're not perfect. But he also brought out stuff about the other couples too. Like I know Kimmy and Maurice brought up some stuff in regards to like when you're just a wife in general, you're doing everything. And he's talking about sexual wise, like how often they should be having sex and things of that nature.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So let's ask. Yeah, let's talk. Here come that. Here come this few guy drip.
Come on in, man.
Dripping. It's wet.
Ladies, my question, y'all, is that when you decide to marry a man, he all yours and you all his, right? So how much sex y'all willing to give a week?
It depends on my partner, and it's a conversation, and it's about compromise.
I'm asking you, how much are you willing to give a week? Please.
I'm willing to give whatever my body allows for the week. Yeah. Am I on my period? How am I feeling?
Okay,
I don't want it to be a number.
I'm gonna be
thing,
honest,
I don't want it to be like a plan thing. Right. I want it to, but go ahead.
A minimum, maybe. How many times a week? At minimum 4.
Yes, at minimum 4. You good with 4? That's a solid, straightforward answer. TJ,
I'm gonna say 7.
Yeah. Every day of the week? Or
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind every day.
And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't say every day for me, because it may not be realistic in my setting to do it every single day. Because every day I may not be feeling 100%. I could be sick. That may take me out for 3 days down. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I said at a minimum 4. At a minimum 4.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind once a day. Yeah. In the week, I wouldn't mind that. I would say 7. I mean, maybe 5 to 7. 5 to 7 better. Mash, what would you say? What number you want?
I said at a minimum 4.
Okay.
I'm with Mo.
4?
Yeah, at a minimum. Because I'm just being, because every day, and there's some people, but every day is not, it may not work every day for whatever reason it is. That's why I'm not going to put myself at every day, but I will say a minimum of 4, and that leads up to, it could be every day.
I like the minimum.
But a minimum
you cute
of 4.
For that. You cute for that.
Yeah. I appreciate the honesty so much, because I feel like in terms of like consistency of sex, that's such a big deal. Mm-hmm. So when you say, if you're doing it every day, when I'm not getting it that day, I'm like, what's going on? Why the fuck we ain't fucking?
Exactly.
Oh, that's important.
You see what Mash. That's why it's a minimum of 4.
I'm with you, gang.
Because one day I don't do it, it's a problem. Yeah. We do it every day.
I hear you. I hear you.
I can't say for that me, every day.
When I was in a relationship, and I shared this on the podcast, by the way, go ahead and like us right now. If you haven't gone ahead and liked us, go ahead and follow us. Go hit that little bell button. We have a podcast. It's called Sophisticatedly Ratchet. And we drop new episodes every Wednesday. And we're everywhere you hear podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and then you can follow us on social media at So Ratchet Podcast. And we're also on IG at So Ratchet Podcast, TikTok at So Ratchet Podcast, and Twitter at So Ratchet Pod. And then, of course, here on YouTube, So Ratchet Podcast. So, okay, now that I got that out of the way.
Great job. We was doing a countdown for her, guys. Go ahead,
I wasn't even paying attention. I was trying to figure out what I was saying.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, team. Thank you, tribe. And by the way, you're considered the tribe if you're listening to us, watching us right now.
Right.
So on the podcast, I remember sharing with you guys that I had a boyfriend that shared with me, like, I have a better day when we have sex in the mornings. And I wasn't doing shit in the morning, so I don't mind having sex in the morning. I work nights, so if it helps you and it helps your day, no problem. So I would say 5 to 7, and that's like, that worked for our relationship. When I'm on my period, of course, not that week. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't mind making you feel good in the morning. And sometimes it wasn't just sex. It was like just oral or whatever we wanted to do. It was like fun and free, and we never felt pressure.
But it was like, was it like a precedent at a certain point? Was it like a requirement to feel like, oh, we ain't fucked this morning, we have a bad day?
I never felt that though.
Gotcha.
We never felt that. And I even told him, like, as long as you get me wet, like, if you want to wake me up, like, you make sure you get it wet, because I'm not using lube. I know we talked about this already. I don't like lube. So if you get me wet, like, it's on and popping. And we were good. And we had a great time. Anyway, I'm complete.
All right, so back to the episode. Right? We got segued.
So we do got to get, but that was part of the question, because that was a topic that they talked about in counseling. But I want to jump into this week's episode that came out. And it's a lot of stuff. So if you're watching, we all know that Wanda is Letitia and Wanda's Letitia's mom. You know, that's Marcel's mother-in-law, and she always has a lot to say. Puts her things that is not necessary for her to be a part of. Apparently, you know, yes, we know that Melody and Martell are divorced, but it's been coming out that Wanda's been saying some kind of things about their children. In my opinion, children is off limits. Don't mention my children.
Always.
My children. Facts. Leave my children out of it. I don't care what you say about me. Don't mention my children, because they have nothing to do with anything, period. So apparently with some stuff that she was saying online that they got wind of. And although Martell and Melody's kind of looks like they're now finally coming out of place where they're kind of getting into the co-parent situation a little better. Martell even said, you know, I'm not even going to address that. Melody says she's going to address it, so I'm going to leave it up to her. So they're at an event. They're at Destiny's event, and it seems as if at that moment, Melody sees Wanda and approaches Wanda about some things that she said online about her children. And that's kind of where it ends until the next episode, which is episode 5, where it looks like it gets hot, crazy, like it looked like a brawl is about to happen. But I really want to ask, like, do we feel like if your mother-in-law is out of line, that should she be checked? Should something be said to her? That's a burner question, by the way. And burner questions, I don't know if we use it in Ratchet Robe review, but we're going to start.
We should. Let me get my cards.
So I ain't know that. It's all right. Burner questions is something that we use on the Sophisticatedly Ratchet Podcast, of course, which is our podcast. And it's basically a question that we ask, which is yes or no, or of course, sophisticatedly ratchet. So I'm just giving you a sneak taste of what we do on our podcast, which you guys should listen to, as TJ stated earlier. Follow us everywhere and catch us, okay? So do we feel that mother-in-laws should be checked when they're doing or saying things that are inappropriate?
Oh, wait. Let me check this.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm going to say why.
I got
okay. Ratchet. So we each said sophisticatedly ratchet. Mash, I'm gonna let you go first.
It depends who's doing it. It depends on who's doing the checking first. Like
facts.
Yeah, that's why I said
ding, ding.
Yo, you can't be coming at my mom's crazy. Let me come at my mom's because my mom did something crazy, and you come at your mom's because your mom did something crazy. But we gotta cross those family line boundaries, and I gotta tell your mother how she like behaving is inappropriate in front of you. That's not gonna end well for nobody. You know what I mean? Right. I couldn't see a situation coming out on the better side because I had to tell your mother to chill out. You know what I mean? You should be the one telling your moms to chill out because 100%. It's not okay. That's my opinion.
I agree.
That's really important.
TJ, you want to go or you want me to go?
Oh, no. Go ahead. You go, Mom.
Okay. So my answer is yes. It's sophisticated ratchet, but I put yes, that a mother-in-law should be checked. However, that's why I said sophisticatedly ratchet, because if it's my mom, let me talk to my mom. Let me hear, Mom, you need to stay out of it. Just like if it's your, because I shouldn't be, I can have, and me and your mom may have a good relationship. So, or it could be me and you addressing your mother together, right? If me and your mother's like that. But for the most part, I may say to you, babe, you know, Wanda did, I'm going to use Wanda as an example, which I must say, Marcel does tell Letitia, you need to speak to Wanda. He definitely, and that's why I commend him, because he necessarily tries not to, but he tells her all the time, like, you got to check your mother. So I agree. If it's my mother, I need to check her. If it's his mother, then he needs to check his mother, because not only that, and I'm, you know, sometimes a male checking I'm talking about like a female could be, you know, also inappropriate and inappropriate in the sense that you're male, and it's disrespectful. You're male, and it may come off as aggressive or you're talking down. So that's not even a factor in the situation. I'm gonna check my mother. I'm gonna let her know that it's not okay with certain things that she do, and let me handle it, as because then it makes it seem like I also can't handle my own situation. I'm a grown woman.
Right. Like how can I have a better relationship with your mom than you do? Like, there's no way I can have a better relationship with her than you do. So you got to be the one to tell her that she's bugging right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Have to.
In certain cultures, you know, especially in the Caribbean culture, it's respect for all parents across the board. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never talk anything other than like good evening, you know what I mean? And like hi, bye, respectful, you know, miss whatever. I actually put Sophisticatedly Ratchet because I feel like exactly what you guys said. It's up to us to check our own parents. I should never check your mother. You should never check my mom. However, if I don't say anything, because I feel like it's also my role as your partner to protect you. Mm-hmm. So if my mother disrespects you, let me handle that. I'm gonna let me handle my mom. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my role. So I'll make sure that I check my mom because that's my responsibility. You are my responsibility. Right. And same way, my mom is my responsibility. You have something to say to my mom that you think is, because like I said, in the Caribbean culture, it's disrespectful. It's not just rude. It's like completely disrespectful in my culture. Yeah. So you come talk to me and I'll talk to my mom. And I've actually ended a relationship. This was the catalyst to the ending to my divorce.
Sometimes it be like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes it be like that.
Yeah. It was a big issue. It's inappropriate. Wow. So yeah, that was a good ratchet question.
Wasn't it?
Burner question.
That was a good burner question.
That was a good burner question. It really, So what else did you think about the episode, T, or the leading up into what's going to be the blowout next week?
Love and Marriage Huntsville knew exactly what they were doing because they showed this clip that they about to show for episode number 5 in last season's episode. I mean, last season
they got all the sauce. They go drown down for as long as they can before they reveal this.
Yo, they milking it right now. So I'm like, yo, it's coming. And I just feel like I can't wait to see the episode, but I just feel like it's unfortunate that it happened this way because it looks like Martell loses his shit. And in this episode, literally, he wants to get back into Skolt. He wants to get back into business. So Skolt is Scott and Holt together. They created a company called Skolt where all of them came together and they were just about to make money. You know what I mean? Like build up. They were doing like corporate stuff or
building houses and stuff.
It was houses, and I think they want to do corporate stuff as well. They ended up creating a company called Black Too, but that's the scope, the Scots by themselves. But anyway, they all came together to really do real estate development. And when Martell and Melody had their divorce, it got crazy, and they had to buy them out of the business. And Tisha now is like the owner. She's like the majority holding owner of Skolt. And so she's like, yo, I'm not fucking with Martell. I don't like the way he handles his behavior, like his anger. His behavior has been so off-putting since the, since the divorce. So it just sucks because they just got to a place in episode 4 where they're like, listen, I was under a lot of stress. I was going through a divorce and, you know, my behavior wasn't okay, but I get to do better and I will do better. But it looks like they about to fight. Like they were holding each other back from fighting. So it was very unfortunate when I saw it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it pans out. But I like the fact that they're on the same team, Martell and Melody.
I do. I was gonna say that. And that's why I can't wait to see it, because although they're divorced, that's still his ex-wife, and that's still the mother of his children. And it just looks crazy because, of course, we know Maurice and Marceau was brothers too. So it's kind of like you put your hand on my brother. I'm gonna have to put hands on you too. So because I kind of saw where Maurice looked like he was trying to calm him down, and then Martell kind of pushes Maurice, and now Maurice and Marceau both kind of looking like they're coming for Martell. Then it kind of ends with when you see Melody, she has no shoes on, and she's in the street like trying to grab after Martell. So even though they're divorced, it's like they still a team because one and to think and the
all because of her.
It's because of Wanda. That's what I'm getting at. This is because of Wanda and her mouth and her inappropriateness.
She bothers me so much, and that no one checks her. It's because Tisha don't check her.
Tisha don't check
like people, and Kimmy been saying this all the time.
Kimmy
Kimmy does it all the time. Kimmy says it all the time. Like, we have to check this lady.
Yeah. You got to check her.
But I'll also say Melody wasn't even invited to this.
She wasn't. And that's what makes it worse. This was the event that Melody popped up to and saw Wanda. And now this created a catalyst. And not only that, I think we forget the grand scheme of things, that this is an event.
It's not, and it's not even her friend's event. They're no longer friends. So you show up to my event uninvited. And then this shit pops off.
I'm pissed. I didn't even invite you. So not only didn't I invite you, you come, drama starts at my event that you weren't invited to. So it's crazy. And I cannot wait to see next episode. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because I feel like next episode is gonna be popping. And we just have to see. But it's just unfortunate as well that Martell was just coming at a place where he's trying to find himself, and branch off and become his own, person in his businesses and stuff. And now this happened. So I guarantee that Scope deal is going to be out the window.
Oh, that's a good question for the tribe.
What?
Like, do you guys think that they're going to continue with the business?
Okay.
Yeah, like the partnership. Yeah. And then I also want the tribe to know, drop that in the comment section below. We want to know how you feel about the mother-in-law. Like, how do you feel? Like, is it yes, no, or sophisticatedly ratchet? Do you think that you should check your mother-in-law, your parent-in-law? Drop that in the chat, in the comments, tribe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, we done discussed our Marriage in Huntsville episode. And of course, you're going to continue to watch us as we, of course, load our episodes. But this is the end, unfortunately.
I know, we like to keep it. I know, but we like to keep it short and sweet. So this is
good.
But
aren't you guys sad?
No, because we like other episodes to come out. Like, I can't wait for this shit to come out. So
I know, I can't wait for it to come out either. But guys, new podcast episodes are released Wednesdays. You can find us wherever you hear our podcast at. Of course, I'm going to let TJ drop that stuff again to make sure that you guys know to follow us, listen to us everywhere. Go, TJ, go, TJ, go.
Okay. All right. So thank you guys for listening. You can find us everywhere you hear podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Amazon has podcasts, guys. And then you can go ahead and follow us on social media. We're at So Ratchet Podcast on IG, So Ratchet Podcast on TikTok, So Ratchet Pod on Twitter. And then here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button, follow us, subscribe. It's So Ratchet Space Podcast. And that's it.
And one more thing.
Okay, go ahead, Mom.
I just want to say, guys, remember, we go live every first Wednesday of every month, okay? So you can see us live and direct.
And we want to see you too.
Yes, we want you to join our live, of course. Remember, every first Wednesdays, every month, join our live. Chit chat with us. We love y'all.